And now, our feature presentation.
And now, being recorded in front of a live studio audience of people who enjoyed the song Chocolate Rain, it's the most random show on the internet. It's TBK Live.
Let's start a riot, dance in the fire. Let's take it higher, shine a little brighter. So what you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? So what you waiting for, waiting for, waiting for? Everybody come on, everybody come on, everybody sing na 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 na.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most random show on the internet. Welcome to a brand new episode of TBK Live. And yes, the 25 days of Christmas continues. And we are going to do it in style because today we're talking music. I already know this might be the most interesting episode of Live we've done in a while. Joining me today is Madd Manda. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I could be better. I feel like you're going to ream me.
You keep saying that, and I don't know why.
You keep saying that like you think you know what that means, but you don't really know what that means. How is everything going for you so far? How's your holiday been?
It's okay. You know, I'm not a big holiday person, so.
Right. If you listen to her show from last year, you should know this already.
Yes, this is true.
I got to tell you, so far, it's been a little hectic for me.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows how this thing goes, the 25 days of Christmas is pretty killer at times. Like, it'll drive me nuts. I think that's just part of it.
Yeah, holidays will keep you busy. That's for sure.
Oh my God, it's cutting me again. We're using a whole new system tonight. I've got a whole new soundboard and everything, and it's just like, I'm going to fuck you over. All right, screw it. I'm just going to continue on at this point. It's going to sound fine. It's just clipping.
Okay.
I might have something turned up that shouldn't be up.
We'll figure it out as we go.
Now that I'm looking at it, like, maybe I'm screwed up somewhere. I don't know. It's all new to me. One of these days I'll figure it out. Oh, hey, that worked. One of these days I'll figure it out. Until then, all right. So our idea today for this episode is to try to figure out who is the most influential artist, since the year 2000?
Well, it's just of this generation, but I think we said that it probably makes sense if they're active between the years 2000 and now. I mean, I don't know about you, but most of mine started before 2000.
I actually went against that rule. There's a couple on my list that are, but most of them has really started to hit it big after the year 2000.
Okay, yeah. I mean, that's fine as long as they're active within this era.
Yeah, that was the whole plan, and it was not easy to do.
Really?
Yeah, it was not. There was times where I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to get this right or not.
Well, now I'm really curious to see who you have.
Oh, yeah. I have this feeling, like I said, I feel like you're going to read me. And it's not going to be, I fixed it. Oh, okay, well, that works.
This is the most random show ever.
Okay, so apparently Skype takes control of my microphone settings.
Huh,
I did not know that. Yeah, no, I fixed it. Woohoo! Now I've got to turn everything back down so the people's ears don't bleed. Sorry about this, everybody. I got a whole new soundboard. By the way, the poor lady who delivered the soundboard couldn't get it off the truck by herself.
Oh, no.
This thing weighs 17 pounds. I'm like, yeah, this thing ain't traveling. I went from having this really small soundboard that's like, hey, this is awesome, to a professional radio soundboard. And now I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Fudge. All right. But yeah, since the year 2000, the idea is to figure out who is the most influential artist in our opinions.
Right. Yeah, obviously.
And I feel...
We're by no means professionals here.
Well, I mean, I'm going to claim it. We're better than most.
This is true.
I actually picked an artist from every genre.
Really?
Yeah.
I tried, but I mean, I don't know. I don't think I have every genre covered.
I've got most genres. I've got most. I've got the rock genre, I've got country, I've got pop, I've got rap. I've got genres.
Yeah, the rap See, that's hard because I don't listen to rap, and even though like I know who's probably the most influential artist from rap, I don't like that person, so I just decided to skip it.
I don't know if you're gonna get okay. So I have 2 rap artists on my list.
Oh Jesus!
So because of I've got reasons, but we'll get to that. Okay, do you want to start this off, or do you want me to start? I feel like you should start this. I feel like, and I
Okay.
don't start with Taylor Swift. Look, we know that
You
this
just,
is
I mean, how do you give away our number? Like, how do you just?
no.
give
I'm
it
just
away
saying,
from the
don't start.
beginning?
Let's save that for the end.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, so maybe we should go over the rules that we
Oh
kind
yeah,
of set.
no, there are rules. We did, yeah, no. Just let everybody know we did make rules for this. Did
Yeah,
I abide
so-
by them? Probably not.
So we pretty much said that. So obviously they have to be active between the years 2000 and present, not consistently, just active, and then they have to have at least 3 albums or more. Because I mean, I just don't see how you can be influential and not have at least 3 albums under your belt.
Take that, Chumbawamba.
The other thing is, obviously, there's a bunch of factors that are going into, what makes somebody so influential. Vocal talent, live performance, originality, musicality, lyrics, whole package factors in. And then-
Musicality sounds like something that would happen at the end of a Mortal Kombat match.
And then also, I mean, obviously, like the number of awards and accomplishments, the amount of records that they've broken. I mean, that's all taken into consideration. And then the other thing is, and this is what factored into a lot of the artists that I picked on my list, is so you have to think about the number of artists who have came after the people on our list, and then like that list this person as an influence.
I
If that
actually
makes sense.
I actually did something a little crazy. I predicted I've got a couple that's not on my list, but I feel like in 10 years from now, if we ever revisited this, they're gonna be on this list.
Oh, so you did like a. See, I could have done that, but I didn't because
I didn't do like they're not on my
didn't go by the
list.
rules.
But they're not on my list, but I feel in 10 years from now, they're gonna be on my list.
Okay.
And do you want me to just go ahead and say the 2 that I have in my honorable mention category for the
Go
future?
ahead.
Adele.
Okay.
Because I know I think 2019 or 20, whatever the album is, that came out in 2011 is the highest selling album since 2000. At least the highest selling album since the digital age.
You think so?
It is. I looked this up.
Oh, okay.
It's like number 4.
I mean, I guess I'm not surprised. I guess my thing, and like, by no means am I trying to take anything away from Adele because, I mean, nobody can touch her vocally.
That's why I said she's going to be one of those artists. Like in 10 years, they're going to be like, oh, one of my inspirations was Adele.
Yeah, like that's the thing is like I don't hear many people now like saying that like, oh, Adele is my biggest influence. Like I just don't hear it.
No, I think you're going to get a generation. Like I think there's this young generation that's going to pop up. Like 5 to 10 years, it's like Adele. It was all Adele. And my other one's Ariana Grande.
Ugh.
Look, thank you. You might say it. I love the "Thank You Next" video. By the way, I think that might be the music video of the year outside of Childish Gambino's.
I haven't watched the video. I haven't even listened to the song in full. I think I heard part of it when I was listening to the Bobby Bones show, and he couldn't even get through the whole song because it's just that bad. Like I don't know. Maybe I should try to listen to the whole thing if I can stomach it, but
But for all of us that followed her from Victorious, yeah, I'm one of those people.
I mean, I've liked some of her other songs, like from when she originally started out. A couple of the hits, like they're very catchy, but I don't know. There's something about her. For me, like it's not the whole package. You know what I mean? Like I think for her,
So I
I
said
think
10
she's
years.
missing the personality.
Oh, see, I don't see that because I think the "Thank You Next" video kind of shows her personality. Because
You
if you're a
think
fan,
so?
if you're a fan of Mean Girls, you'll love the "Thank You Next" video.
Oh, see, maybe that's why I don't care to watch it because I'm not a fan of Mean Girls.
She spoofs Mean Girls, Bring It On, 13 Going on 30, and
Oh,
there's
boy.
a 4th one in that, and I love it. It's just like, hey, these are all the movies that I loved at that certain age. I'm like, I'm in, like I'm good. Let's do this because I can quote Mean Girls all day long. That is one of my all-time favorite
Aw.
movies. Yeah. All right, so let's start. We've got our rules down. I gave some honorable mentions. Hey,
Yes.
all right. So this is all.
And then so we also agreed to do. I mean, obviously, like there's so many. I mean, we can go on and on, like with all the artists that we think are the most influential. But I think we kind of decided to keep our list down to 10.
I went to
I know
11.
you said you went 11. I threw on an extra one while you were trying to figure out the soundboard.
Oh yeah. Hey,
Just because she didn't
soundboard.
make my 10, but she's easily like she could easily be my number 11.
Ooh, that's a good. Ooh, if you give me the genre, I could probably guess this.
If I give you what?
If you give me the genre of the artist, I might be able to guess.
I would say like pop rock.
Oh, thanks. That helps.
I mean,
Well, like I did toy around. Okay, so you're gonna start this, so I'm just gonna guess that I think it's Amy Lee, but I'm probably wrong.
you are wrong.
Yeah. All right, what you got?
My number 11 is actually Avril Lavigne.
Ooh, I did not consider her. Ooh,
Yeah. And so the reason is because, I mean, so she obviously came after Pink, but she has a different style than Pink completely. I mean, she came out and she's this, she starts off not girly at all. She just doesn't give a crap, she's doing her own thing. She, the fast guitars, and it's still like that, those pop vocals, but it's just these like Taylor Swift like lyrics, but with a little bit more edge to them. And I mean, honestly, like a lot of the female singer songwriters now I hear Avril's influence in their music.
my only issue with Avril, and it's not anything like 'cause I love Avril's music. Like if you look at my playlist, there's a ton of Avril Lavigne on my playlist, but I think she's a terrible person. And because I've seen the way, like I know you've seen this, like the picture of her with her fans, and like the fan kind of barely has their arm around her, or they're like 3 feet away.
Oh, I actually haven't seen that picture.
Yeah, no, she does when she does tour photos while she's on tour. She has a spot where she'll stand, and then the fan has to stand like 2 feet from her.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of crappy.
I wonder what that is. I mean, I guess like we don't know the reason behind it, so I mean, it's easy for us to say that like it is really crappy. I don't know. I guess I kind of want to give her the benefit of the doubt.
It could be the idea of, oh look, she might be like a touchophobe.
That could be like
or
a germaphobe.
Yeah, like Howie Mandel is to that. But I never would have considered her like as an influential artist. Maybe because I heard Hello Kitty and went, oh.
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's a couple songs like that one, like I don't understand.
I like the song though, which really says a lot about me though. So
See, no, I don't like that song. I think there's other songs that she has that are just really great, and it's like you dig into her library and you forget that she has these songs. I mean, don't get me wrong; they're not like they're not life changing as far as like they don't like dig deep. But I mean, like on a real level, I mean they're good songs.
I love her music. Like it's so up. Like the times that she's upbeat is so much fun.
Yeah.
Because like I guess the perfect example of that's Girlfriend. Because that's the one that still comes to my mind. That's a great video too.
Yeah.
That one comes to my mind as that's probably the most fun Avril was or has been in her career. Like that whole there's that whole album. I can't think of the name of the album, but that whole album's fun. But then you have the serious side of Avril, and if you've seen those videos, like her new video, unbelievable.
Yes, sure.
I can't think of the name of the song. But
Head Above Water.
Yes, such a great video, such a great song. Where I think we're getting the old Avril back with the power songs. So maybe the dude from Nickelback screwed her career up. So
Chad Kroeger.
Yeah. We're not. Nickelback will not be on this show outside this comment. So at least that I hope not. But we all own the first album. Don't deny it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's a great album. But yeah, I love Avril. I agree with you. Like I could see her being a solid number 11.
Yeah.
I don't know what your number 10 is, but that's a solid number 11. Okay, you want me to... See, I could go anywhere on my list and be fine with this. Okay, I'll go one. It's probably my number 11, but she probably could be in anyone's top 10.
Okay.
Reba.
Okay, see, you totally broke the rules because she came out in the like early 90s,
but she's
not
still,
like the late 80s.
But you said that she has to be relevant since 2000.
Well, I mean, yeah, but
I have my reason. She's
still
her
popular, like she peaked in the 90s though.
But a whole new generation got to meet Reba in a totally new way and introduced them to her music.
But that was because of the TV show.
That's right. That's how I got introduced to Reba.
Oh.
Yeah, no, that I said this is my like this is number 11. You calm down there. But I feel like if you look at country now, I think she's one of those people that's like, who influenced you? Reba.
Well, of course. But
Reba
again,
and
that's
Dolly
because
is
she
gonna
came
be
out in the
everywhere.
90s.
80, like 82.
Yeah, I'm sorry, like the late 80s or mid 80s. Whatever.
Oh, there's someone on my list that's from like 91. Like I know this, but they
yeah.
but there's a reason because it's not like you'll understand when we get there, but it's like one certain person.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, I think Reba's so influential, like she couldn't help but make this list.
Yeah, I mean she's for sure influential, but I feel like she's one of those artists like Faith Hill or Shania Twain. Those are all influential artists, but they're like I don't think they fit like if we're talking like this generation. I mean Shania maybe, but like I just don't think
Shania is probably more than even Reba, but Reba having the TV shows would change that for me. Like I'm like, she opened up a door for me that I did not know. And plus her acting, like that whole thing right there is kind of awesome for me.
Yeah, her acting for sure is phenomenal.
Because I do believe that opened up a door, like a whole new door for new fans to discover who she is. Because those shows are always in syndication and probably one of the most fun shows to watch.
Yeah.
Ever.
I actually missed her show Malibu that was on ABC.
That was a
but
good
they
show.
canceled it after one season.
That was a good show. There is
It was hilarious.
There is talk and a rumor going around that they're talking about bringing back the Reba show. And I'm like, please, I will do anything just to know what's going on with Van Montgomery. I am fine with this. I am 100% behind that. It's a fun show. Reba's career is awesome, but she's still in the mainstream, not because of just her, but because like every so often she pops up with Brad Paisley, or like she'll just randomly pop up on something and then she steals the whole show from him.
That's true.
Like that's one reason why I chose Reba.
Yeah, and then I mean she does, those collaborations, whether it's just a performance on an award show or like an actual duet. She's done actually both a performance, I think, and a duet with Kelly Clarkson. And then last year she did that performance duet with Kelsey Ballerini.
Didn't she do one like this year? I think on one of the Christmas specials, she did a song with Lindsey Sterling. And
that was a couple nights ago, I think.
Yeah.
I didn't watch it, but I heard about it.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I'm like, Lindsey Sterling, who, by the way, she almost made my list for a completely different like, she's awesome. I feel we're going to see more people playing the violin because of her in music.
Yeah.
But after hearing her, like, anytime she's with somebody, they just elevate them. Like, I don't know what it is about her and the violin that just elevates the person's voice, which is crazy because it's Reba. But
yeah.
But yeah, okay, so Reba's my number 11. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like we just like shaped like the like we just set the bar for like the rest of this conversation.
Oh no, I am telling you, I've got some ones on here that's gonna make people go, "Are you kidding me?" But
I don't doubt that now.
The main rule though, to me, was they have to be relevant since 2000. And that's kind of what I took and ran the ball with, because there's someone on here that I have from like the 1970s, but I have my argument again of why they're on my list.
The 1970s?
I will get. Do you want me to do that one next? Do you just want me to go into
No.
Well, that's the one I'm doing next, but for reasons.
Okay. All right. All right. So moving on to number 10 then. So my number 10 actually is Pink. And I'm not a huge fan of like all of her music, but I do think she's super influential. I mean, number one, like from the very beginning of her career, she flat out like told the industry she wasn't giving in to any kind of pressure. She didn't want to be the next Christina Aguilera or Britney Spears or Mandy Moore. You know what I mean? Like none of that. She just did her own thing. She stayed true to herself. And I mean, now look at her. I haven't seen her live, but from what I've heard, she puts on an insane live show. I mean, all these acrobats and whatever you want to call it.
The Cirque du Soleil kind of thing.
Yeah, the Cirque du Soleil kind of thing. Exactly. I don't know. I mean, I do have mad respect for her as an artist.
She's also had to reinvent herself so much.
Yeah, I mean, she never puts out the same album twice, I feel like.
Oh, I agree. Completely agree. There's so many. She only has 7 albums, which is really crazy for as long as she's been around.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy.
Misunderstood's probably, that one's really good. Oh, So many, like, that's the one with Just Like a Pill, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably the album that really just jet-setted her.
Yeah, I would say so.
Like, I
I
mean,
think
there's
that
some
one
great
probably
songs.
had all the big hits.
Yeah, I think it's that one that's kind of like, oh, I know that song. Oh, I know that song.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know that song. Pink's just, she's been able to stay around, and longevity in music's really hard.
Right, exactly. And I mean, she's still relevant.
I know she went through a horrible divorce, which now they're friends again, which I don't, that whole thing.
No, I'm pretty sure I thought
No,
she was still married to the.
okay, she is. They were gonna get a divorce. Like, I think she caught him cheating.
Oh no, that I don't know.
This was a long time ago, and we like one of her albums is dedicated to this.
Huh?
It's the real.
I think you're thinking of Beyonce.
No, I'm not. It's the one that. Oh, it's the one with crap, Stupid Girls. It's that album because there's songs on there dedicated to him and how angry she was, and that actually helped her through it.
Now I'm gonna have to look this up later.
Yeah, it's a weird story. Like, I remember it, and because I kept up with pop culture so much at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's crazy how much of pop culture I kept up with. But yeah, she's an amazing artist and an amazing person, and God bless her because I love her.
Yeah, and I think she's a really good role model as well.
Yeah, completely agree. Like, I can listen to her and her music again, just like Avril, and is so catchy too. When she is on fire, she's on.
Right, exactly.
The complete opposite of Fergie.
Yeah.
Fergie did not make my list. If she did, it was because of Kids Incorporated. But I completely agree with you on this. I can't argue Pink with you. Like, I just can't.
Yeah.
I think I should pick someone that you won't argue with me with for the next one. Like, let me pick someone that is not going to be an anger one. All right.
No, just stick with your list. That's fine.
Well, no, I've got my list is in no order, so it's kind of like I can just do whatever I want. I'll pick one that's kind of off kilter.
Okay.
As I was going through mine to do this, I went, okay, so if I'm a musician, because I feel like there's more to music than just lyrics and singing.
Right, yeah.
I feel like there always has to be a musician or an artist that stands out for their instrument as well, and their songwriting ability and all of that. And when I was putting this together, I went, you know who deserves to be on this list? Because I'm going to say right now, your influence of pop rock, they're going to say this band. I'm going to say 75% of them are going to say the White Stripes.
Oh.
Yeah.
See, I was never a White Stripes fan.
I love the one album. Like, that's it. I'm just going to say it now. I love the one album, but Jack White is so influential in music. It's so crazy to think about. Like, you can't leave him off this list almost.
Yeah, I mean, I don't doubt it. I never dug into the White Stripes or Jack White.
Yes, I mean, I love that one album, and if you haven't seen the music video for "Fell in Love with a Girl," no, that's the wrong out. Yeah, that's the wrong song. Crap, my mind just blanked. Not Seven Nation Army, the other one. No, I think it is it's a Lego music video. That's all that matters. It's a really good video. Leave me alone. It's early in the morning for me.
How many albums do the White Stripes have?
He has 3 with himself, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay.
Yeah, 6 is the White Stripes. Yeah, I mean, he's had quite a few albums. Which Fell in Love with a Girl. I was right. Okay, cool. Yeah, 6 albums, and even his stuff that's solo is really good. But I also know that he does a lot of producing and writing for other artists, and I don't have all that in front of me because that could take all day to read. But I think he's going to be one of those people that when you hear musicians now, he's going to be they're going to be one of those artists. It's like, okay, I could see the White Stripes being an influence here. 100%.
Yeah, I can see that.
Because, I mean, and not going with what my strong suit is, because, look, there's no one in ska I could talk about. But I do love the sound of the White Stripes, and I think that guitar sound that he brought in the early 2000s is still around today.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess I can see that.
I told you I was going to...
Again, again, like I never really dug into the White Stripes too much, so it's hard to say it's hard to point out like any specifics for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of going off of. I told you I'm going to go off I'm going off the rail on my list. Like I was going to choose things, and I'm like, I know no one else will choose.
Yeah.
So,
Hmm.
I'm
Okay.
baffling. I'm baffling you. I feel
A little bit.
good. That's what I wanted. Who's next on yours?
Maybe a little bit obvious, but I mean, I feel like it's just hard to leave them off. This is more in the rock realm. But Foo Fighters.
Okay, so Dave Grohl is on my list too. Just Dave Grohl.
But just Dave Grohl?
Yeah.
Huh.
My reason: Nirvana, Foo Fighters, and Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, I can see that.
But I do agree with you completely.
Yeah, I mean, they're a talented bunch of musicians. Like, even if you don't love all of their music, they have songs that are just great rock songs, and it fits in any realm of rock. I mean, they have their more pop rock songs, they have their heavier rock. They have Wheels is a phenomenal song.
Yes.
Everlong is an epic song. I mean, Learn to Fly, There Goes My Hero. I mean, you can go on and on and on.
Learn to Fly is one of the best music videos of all time.
It really is. And the guy, I mean, during his tour, he broke his leg and created basically like a throne for himself where he could sit and play the guitar, and he still killed it with the broken leg.
Yeah, that's why he was on my list too. Like, this guy transcends rock. Like, when you look at rock for like this generation, there has to be a picture of Dave Grohl.
Right. And he collaborates with so many other artists. And when they did the Sonic Highways album, the documentary that he did, I mean, he went to almost all these different cities known for music, and he just dived right in to what makes that city the heart of that city's music scene. Chicago, Nashville, New Orleans. I mean, he dug right in and he got right to the heart of that city. And I think that's phenomenal. I don't think you see many artists doing that. Even if you don't hear it in all of his music, I mean, he still felt the need to find it and point it out.
Right. Do you think he could do any genre?
I think depending on the song, yeah, I think he probably could get away with it.
See, that's what I think too. I think you could stick him anywhere and he would just thrive.
Yeah.
And not just as a musician, but as a singer. Which, if you, like, for me, it's weird to think that the drummer from Nirvana
right
is that good of a singer too.
Right. But I mean, in the past, like, drummers have proved us, I mean, they proved us wrong before. Look at Phil Collins, and look at what's his name from the Eagles?
Oh crap. Yeah, I know.
I can't think of his name. Don.
Is it Henley? No, that ain't.
Yes, Don Henley.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, had to bring my music knowledge. Ugh.
And then also, I think, Phil Collins was in Genesis. Yeah.
Yeah, Genesis.
But yeah, I mean, look at, those are both perfect examples of guys who were behind the drums, but then they can sing their asses off.
And then you go, how talented is the bands they're in? Because with Genesis is really talented. You can't deny that.
Well, I mean, even in the Eagles, almost every single one of those guys sang.
Didn't everybody have a solo career too?
Oh, I think just about, yeah.
Yeah, because I know Don Henley did.
And
then Dave Grohl.
Timothy B. Schmidt.
Yeah. Then Dave Grohl goes from Nirvana, creates the Foo Fighters, and you're going, holy crap. And then Queens of the Stone Age, which I think he went back to drums for that.
I don't remember. Queens of the Stone Age was a band I never really got into.
Yeah, they have like 2 albums, but they're really good. That's how I got introduced to them through a friend and went, oh, who is this? And they're like, it's another band, but with Dave Grohl. Because that's how you just explain to people, hey, look, it's Queens of the Stone Age.
Yeah, I mean, he is like, I mean, you look at like rock and roll, and I mean, like, he is like this generation's rock star. You know what I mean?
And that needs to happen, because that's something I was worried about. Because you can go and look at all through this time with music. There's people out there that should be the face of the genre that aren't. But he is completely the face of the rock genre right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
See that one? Hey, look, we have someone on the list. Like, look, we finally got one together. Yes. That makes me feel better.
I mean, you agreed with my other two.
Yeah, no, I do. Like, it's just kind of like it's people that I considered and then debated on. Like, I really went.
You went rogue.
I did. I really did. Okay, so the next one. I'll do the next one because I know this one's going to be like, are you kidding me?
Oh boy.
So yes, this artist started in the 70s, and
Oh, Jesus.
but they did not have their first #1 hit until 2006.
Oh my God.
But they've been around for that long.
Huh.
They
What's the genre?
I'll tell you in a second. But because I already know as soon as I tell you, you're gonna know. But every decade, this person has had a voice in it.
I feel like I know this, but
you will.
They're still alive, right?
Yeah,
Obviously.
they're still making music. In fact, they're going on tour next year.
So it's a band?
It's not a band. He is, but
Oh.
I told you I went rogue.
He's going on tour next year. I feel like I should know this. I feel like as soon as you say it, I'm gonna know.
Yeah, because this is kind of one that no one would have thought about but me. And I guarantee no one thought about this but me.
It's been around since the 70s, but just had his first big hit
In
2006?
In 2006.
Huh, and going on tour next year.
Going on tour next year and still making music. In fact, released a new album last year.
Released a new album
Or 2 years
last year?
ago. Or 2 years ago, yeah. Yeah, see, I've stumped you, right?
I feel like I know it. It's not coming to me at the moment.
Okay, so again, I'm embarrassed to say this because I know you're going to read me. It's Weird Al.
Oh, not who I thought.
Yeah, no, I'm dead serious. First #1 in 2006.
Wow.
But you can't tell me if you look back, and I know the comedy genre is something a lot of people go, but Weird Al gets radio play.
On what stations?
A lot. Like, White and Nerdy was on pop stations across our area where I was living at the time. And that's his first #1. But it's just something about, like, I feel Weird Al is one of those artists that, like, no matter what genre, you're like, I love the parody.
But see, yeah, I mean, he didn't really like fit a genre because he was just comedy. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
All he did, like, he just parodied different songs.
Right, but the fact that he's still relevant has to make him. Yeah. He's all like his tour, like he goes on tour next year. It's an all strings tour, by the way. He's doing it with a huge huge symphony orchestra touring with him, which is really weird because that's like Evanescence just did.
Right.
But I think half the shows are already sold out.
Interesting.
Like, that's something to consider because he did a small, like a acoustic show this past year, and every show but 2 sold out.
But like, I don't listen to like music today, and I'm like, oh yeah, I totally hear like where Weird Al influenced them. You know what I mean?
No, it's gonna happen. I'm telling it probably has happened, and then we're just all like, oh, there's probably someone out there. I know there's a few in the rock genre that credit him for something. Like I know I've read this, but I don't know who.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna say it's probably Fall Out Boy. But
no, I don't think so.
But he is one of those artists that I feel, even if you look at it from a comedy music perspective, is going to be talked about probably for even years after his death, like almost Elvis-esque. Yeah, I'm weird. I know it's weird. Like, he's going to have one of those things where like his music's never going to die.
I don't know about that.
I don't. I think his music will live on no matter what, because I think you go back and hear those songs, you're like, oh, I can't hear American Pie now by Don McLean by Don McLean without hearing the Weird Al Star Wars version now.
See, I don't even know the Weird Al Star Wars version.
Yeah, it came out with Phantom Menace. And I can't hear, there's another one too, just recent. Like, he did a version of Avril's song that I can't hear in my head now without hearing his version. I said, you're going to read me for this list. This is my off-kiltered one. I know this is my off-the-base one, and I'm fine with it. I stick by my guns. Weird Al is awesome.
Fun fact, Fall Out Boy almost made my list.
I want you to know I considered Panic at the Disco, too.
Oh no, I wouldn't have put them on here. I mean, they were influenced by Fall Out Boy.
But because Brandon Urie's having a hell of a career right now, he could have been on that influential in 10 years list.
Well, yeah, that list I'll give you.
Yeah, because I have a feeling.
Yeah. Okay, so my next one is we're going to the country genre now. Is actually Eric Church.
Really?
Because and especially with these new guys that are coming out, like Luke Combs is a perfect example. He has credited over and over that he would not be in music today if it wasn't for Eric Church. The guy just completely does his own thing. He started the whole like dropping a new album, and just without any kind of promotion, no like marketing whatsoever. Just the night of an award show, wasn't up for any awards, dropped a new album, and I think it went to #1 like the next day. He opens for himself like last year, and then this year he's doing it again. He just opens for himself. He plays for like probably a good almost 3 hours or so by himself. He takes a short intermission and that's it.
I appreciate that. Like anybody, okay, so that kind of changes things. Because I was sitting here, like I'm actually debating this one in my head, like really, like Eric Church, like it's not one I would have thought of.
Really?
Yeah, okay, so I considered putting the group, like the group of country guys that are at this spot, like Church and Jason Aldean, and there's 2 others, I don't know. There's a 4. Like it's the sexy 4. Every woman out there listening to the show is like, I know who they're talking about. They have great asses. But I considered it, but I thought they were too new.
See, Eric Church has been around
Since 2006, and I didn't know that.
Yeah, I mean, and his early albums were like, I mean, I think at that time he was probably trying to do the, like, I don't want to say necessarily like fit in, but his stuff was definitely a little bit more, not that any of his stuff is not radio friendly, but his early stuff was definitely more radio friendly and probably got a little bit more play than his stuff now, with the exception of like certain hits, like Drink in My Hand or Springsteen. And even that, I mean, here's a guy who wrote a song, inspired by one of his favorite artists, and it's not a traditional country song. It's not even remotely close to what you would like picture on a country station. But I mean, I'm almost positive that was a #1 hit for him.
I'm actually looking at that song right now. It went to number 19 on the Billboard Hot 100 and #1 on Hot Country Songs.
Yeah. And a lot of people claim that as one of their favorite songs. I mean, within the country genre anyway.
Like, because probably my favorite Eric Church song's Creepin', but that's weird.
See, I don't like that song.
Again, music video stands out to me a lot with music. Because that's how when I get up of a morning, that's what I do, is I'll watch music videos for a few hours, and then it's like, oh, now I gotta work. Or like, that's how I spend my mornings.
Yeah.
That's how I got introduced to a lot of music. Was through the music videos. Yeah, so, and the Creepin' video is really good.
No, go ahead, sorry.
Oh, the Creepin' video is awesome. Like, I think that's a great video.
He's also another one who he doesn't put out the same album twice. He reinvents himself. He experiments with new sounds, especially this last album he just put out. I mean, even if you don't like everything he does, you respect what he's doing. And the guy gets no awards ever.
Yeah, that actually baffles me.
He has not yet been up for Entertainer of the Year, and I don't see how. The guy opened for himself and sold out almost just about every show.
Do you remember? I don't know if you're actually. You're probably old enough to remember this, but during the 90s, and I don't know if it was there was an award show that went around the CMA Fest, but it wasn't the CMA Fest. It wasn't the CMA Awards. It was something else.
CMT?
I don't think it was CMT Awards, but I think it was something like that. But every year, Neil McCoy won Entertainer of the Year, and I'm like, how the fuck? Like, I'll just go ahead and say it. How the is Neil McCoy Entertainer of the Year over Garth Brooks?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't see how he could be Entertainer of the Year over Garth Brooks, but he is pretty entertaining live. I will say that. Apparently,
he, in his fan, like, they used to do the fan letters for the fan clubs, he would stick a voting ballot in every single one of them.
That's just smart.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said, too. I'm like, I can't even be mad at that now.
Right?
Like,
exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't argue it. I feel like if there's a questionable one that fans will be like, okay, that's my questionable one, it's that one. Again,
What,
no,
Eric Church?
yeah.
Really?
yeah. Like I got Weird Al, you got Eric Church. We're fine.
I don't think it's quite the same thing, but okay, go ahead.
But two totally different genres. Just calling it
Yeah.
now. I'm gonna go with rap. I'm just gonna throw my one rap. I'm gonna throw one of my rap names out there. I think you already know where I'm going with this. I've got 2 rap artists on my list, and I feel both of them are pretty influential, but for 2 totally different reasons.
Okay.
And it's not Kanye.
See, now I totally get where Kanye is influential. I get it. I just don't like him. I can't stand him actually.
But see, I think Kanye. The reason Kanye is influential is because he had that collaboration album with someone on my list,
Okay.
Jay-Z.
Okay. Yeah, I can't argue with Jay-Z. I may not like him very much as a person, but I mean, what he's doing as far as like, I mean, I don't want to say he started the whole thing, but like he started like the branding as an art. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like he really is like the first big artist to just do the whole branding thing. And I mean, he has an empire.
He does, and that's the thing. Or I was like, Jay-Z has to be on my list because he has, like, even since 2000, he's had so many hits. And the one with Alicia Keys, New York,
Yeah.
still like one of the I'm not the biggest rap fan, but that's on my
Right.
playlist. I love that song.
Yeah. I can't argue with that with the Jay-Z.
I finally got one you can't argue with. Yes, it's a miracle. Like I mean, go ahead.
I didn't argue with Reba. It was just kind of shocking.
Yeah, no, I like to catch people off guard. No, Jay-Z's had a ton of albums, and even since 2000. But I know a lot of people don't like Jay-Z now because of what he did to Queen Bee. So,
I don't like that you're calling her Queen Bee.
well, it's out of humor purposes.
And I'm I'm just gonna put it out there. Beyonce is not on my list.
I have actually so to let you know my Beyonce thing, and I love Beyonce, and I think she's great. But she actually was on my list, then off my list, on my list, then off my list. Like I don't know how to feel because I'm like, yeah, because I mean she's really good, and I think she's great, and she has a great stage presence. But is she someone that's going to influence a whole generation? Like I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you could have told me Destiny's Child, sure, I would go with that.
I mean, the one thing I'll give Beyonce is like her dancing in her live shows. Like I know, like Faith Hill said that like before her and Tim came back and did this Soul to Soul tour that they did this past year, she went and saw with one of her daughters. She went and saw Beyonce live, and she said that like that inspired her to actually put some dancing into her live show. So like I get it, but I don't know.
I would like to see Faith Hill try dancing in her live show. I'm sorry.
She did. She does actually. She doesn't do. I mean, it's not like crazy.
I just can't see her
she's
doing
still,
Britney Spears moves, but now it's in my head.
No,
like, yes.
of course not. She doesn't do them like that. But I mean, she's not bad.
Oh, all right. So who's next for your list?
This one might surprise you.
Oh God.
I'm not like again. These aren't necessarily all people that I'm like huge fans of. At least not until we like start get going a little bit later. But I mean, as musicians and artists, I think what they're doing is, like you have to have respect for it.
I swear to God, if you say Rascal Flatts about.
No. No. So my next person is Justin Timberlake.
He is on my list too.
Oh, so we have another in common.
I think JT is the most well-rounded, all-around threat in the history of entertainment.
Yeah, I mean, he went from boy band to, and let's remind everyone that he grew up in Tennessee. Okay, so I mean, he's a country boy at heart.
He grew up
like
an hour from me.
Yeah, like he came out of a boy band, turned into like this solo act that has just skyrocketed, and I mean, he's friends with everybody in every different genre. I mean, from the things he's done with Timbaland, I'm Jay-Z, and now he's collaborating with Chris Stapleton. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, pop, R&B, hip hop. The guy. I mean, I don't think that there's anything he can't do.
Yeah, we were talking about this on an episode of a show like a long time ago. Is Justin Timberlake the best like overall talent in the world today.
In the world today, I don't know.
Like, I mean, he
But
can
he's up
dance,
there.
he can sing, he can act.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Like
he has
he's
great
really
comedical
like
timing.
the all-American boy.
Yeah, he's like, honestly, if someone were to tell me, hey, this movie has Justin Timberlake in it, I'm already there.
Yes. Yeah.
Because, like him on SNL, like he is so great on Saturday Night Live. Like one of the things, him with Lonely Island, if you have not seen this, you've been living under a rock. But he is so great at just making people feel happy.
Yeah, I agree.
Have you ever seen anyone talk bad about him?
No, actually, I don't think I have.
Like that's the other thing. Like he is so like just he might honestly be the musician you wish that like everyone was.
Yeah, and I mean, like, he's nice to everyone, and he really is like influencing other artists in all kinds of genres. Like, I see it even in the country genre.
I love. Yeah, Justin Timberlake, by the way, was number 2 on my list.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if that tells you where I thought he was.
I
Like on
think
names, I was
somebody
like,
has a
yeah.
man crush.
Oh, I do. 100%.
Okay.
Not as much as I had on JC Chazé, but that's a whole nother argument. All right.
All right, who's your next?
I'll stick in the rap genre again. Because I'm like, you know what? I'll go ahead and say Eminem. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Eminem fan, but I also know that there's very few artists that come along in time like him. And I feel I have never seen anyone be able to come up with lyrics off the top of their head like he does.
Yeah.
And it's insane. Him and Common. Like I said, I'm not a rap fan, but I know how well they can just drop lyrics at the drop of a hat.
Right.
And it's something that if you're in the rap, like if you're trying to be a rap artist, he has to be one of the people you look up to.
Yeah, I mean, I think like without Eminem, I don't think Macklemore would exist.
I think without Eminem, there's a lot of rappers that would not exist right now. And I like Macklemore to a point.
Yeah.
To a point.
Yeah.
But I actually, because Eminem came out when I was an impressionable age, like I think freshman year of high school is when Eminem came out for me.
Yeah, I was in high school too.
Yeah, 99. 99's when the first album dropped, and you're just like, okay, this is different. Do I personally think Eminem is the greatest of all time in the genre? No. But that's only because I enjoy 80s rap a lot.
Right.
So, and if you ask me that, it's the Sugar Hill Gang. Everyone can shut their mouths. But yeah, no, I know where Eminem stands in music, and I feel like he has to be on the list.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I mean, it's not like I'm a big fan of him or his music, but I mean,
you can respect where he is.
Right, you can't deny the influence he's had.
Oh, Eminem. Yep. So now I don't feel so bad. We both had Justin Timberlake. Awesome. All right, so who's next for you?
Going back to the country category.
And male or female?
Person, male.
Alan Jackson.
No.
Yeah.
No, because remember we said 2000s?
Joe Diffie. Oh.
Again, 2000s.
Joe
Diffie's from the 90s.
Joe Diffie hasn't been relevant since 1994, and then that Jason Aldean song came out, and then he was relevant for another 12 minutes. That's it. I love Joe Diffie, though.
Yeah. It's hard to beat Joe Diffie. No, my next artist is Keith Urban. Here's the thing. This guy, he's Australian, right? The minute he opens his mouth to sing, you have no idea he's Australian.
Oh, I completely agree with that. It's like Adele's voice. Like when you hear her sing, you're like, oh, you hear her talk, you're like, that can't be the same person.
Right. And I mean, like, people can say like his last few albums weren't country, but he experimented just like everyone's doing. And he didn't fail. You have to experiment. He didn't fail. Like, I mean, he's collaborating. He did a collaboration with, what's his name? Oh my God, the Miami guy, Pitbull. Yeah, he did a collaboration
that's two
with
people
Pitbull.
I just put together at the top of my list. Keith Urban and Pitbull.
Right. I mean, like, and aside from like what he can do vocally and musically, he's an insane guitar player.
He's one of the best guitar players in music, and I don't disagree.
Yes.
With you. He's definitely not, but he's not one of my favorites. But I understand he definitely could be on this list.
And I mean, his music, like, if you look at all of his albums, he doesn't necessarily have like a bad album. Like he's got a huge catalog of hits, and they're all like good, catchy songs. I mean, and all these new artists, so many of them that I've talked to have said that like Keith Urban is the reason that they picked up a guitar and learned to play.
I could see that. I could definitely see that.
So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I definitely see him as a big influencer.
Like I said, he's not my favorite artist in the world. Mostly because, and this is just me personally, when I was in radio, I forgot about him. Because his music when I was working radio, he just kind of blended with everyone else at the time.
Oh, see, I think he stood out.
I was there at like 5 a.m. Everyone sounded the same. Like, it was just kind of like, crap, I have to start the day again with that damn Dirk Bentley song. Crap. But no, I get where you're coming from completely. Plus, anybody married to Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, they're so cute together. He's also just super, super nice, and he smells really good. If you ever get the chance.
And that's the second celebrity this year that has been told that has smelled good. The other one, for anyone who does not know, is Jason Momoa. All right.
I don't know who that is.
Aquaman?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, that guy.
I just saw that trailer.
Oh, that looks so good. Oh my goodness, that looks so good. Okay, so yeah, I can't argue with you on this. Like, I want to, but I'm like, I can't. Like, I don't want my hatred. Like, I know there might be someone on your list, and I'm like, I can't stand them. I'm gonna fight back.
I don't think there's gonna be.
I don't know. I don't know where to go from here. Because we had two that are the same, so we can't really go. Like, yeah. Okay, I'll go with this. I think that Lady Gaga deserves to be on this list.
You know, I didn't put her on mine. I thought about it. But I don't see, because she's so out there as far as like her costumes and everything. I mean, I don't see other artists now doing that.
That's not like, and I get that. I get like, because that's kind of toned down a lot lately, though.
Yeah.
For her, I think she's going to be, when the time comes, we're going to see this whole influx of new artists come in. And I mean, even now, I feel like people are like, oh no, Lady Gaga, help me be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And that's going to stand out in a crowd.
Like, I see Lady Gaga as like the new Madonna.
Yes.
But just on a different level as far as like the extremes. Like,
is it bad? I think
the costumes and stuff.
Lady Gaga more than Madonna.
That you like Lady Gaga more than Madonna?
Yeah. Like, I don't know. Her songs are just super catchy. Like, oh my goodness.
Some of them.
By the way, you want to talk about someone who can play any instrument?
Yeah, I've heard that she's very talented. Multi-instrumental.
Plus, she was just in that movie with
I still haven't seen it yet. With Bradley Cooper.
Yeah. And that was something that a lot of people are like, she killed it in that role. Like, I think it's going to be up for Best Picture at the Oscars now.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I mean, she's come into her own where you wouldn't expect it.
Mm.
I definitely didn't expect it from her when she first started with Poker Face, but now that we've come, that was 11 years ago.
Well, remember, Just Dance was her first single.
Yeah. I think Poker Face was her first #1, though.
Probably.
But just like since that, which by the way, the first time I heard her, I thought it was Christina Aguilera.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I don't think I thought that. No.
Maybe I saw a music video. I was like, oh, it's just Christina. And then just kept turning.
Oh, wow.
Well, not that I hate Christina, because I do, but that was during her dirty phase, and I didn't care for that phase. But no, I enjoyed.
Interesting.
I enjoyed Lady Gaga. I think she's going to be. I think there's a few artists now, because I mean, when she came out, it would probably been in like when people were 14 or so. Mm-hmm. There's some artists now who are like, yeah, I credit Lady Gaga. I think we're going to see it in the next 5 years more. Where you're just like, yeah, it's just going to be an influx of Lady Gaga as the woman. Like, she might end up on the same level as Madonna at some point. She's not there yet, because, I mean, it's Madonna.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think she's there yet either. When she first started, it looked like she was on her way to being, but then she kind of like took a bit of a plateau. And
then she kind of reinvented herself completely.
Yeah.
And I just saw, my wife's been watching the American Horror Story season with her in it, too.
Okay.
So, I mean, she can do anything, too, almost in the Justin Timberlake aspect. And it's like, this is nuts. I've never seen so many talented people in my life.
Yeah, and I mean, she did that collaboration with Tony Bennett.
Oh, that's so good. Oh,
Yeah, it's
that's so
interesting.
good.
Like just when you think you've got it figured out, she goes and surprises you.
And that's a good thing, especially in
is.
music. Hey,
It
hey,
is.
Metallica, take notes. All right,
Uh,
it is your turn.
What'd you say?
It is your turn.
Okay. So this next one might also surprise you. Again, not a fan of all of his music.
Ooh, it's a him.
But it's hard to argue with the influence he's having, especially in the country genre right now. But Bruno Mars.
Okay, so he was someone that almost made my list because he can also play any freaking instrument.
Yeah.
But I didn't know if he had been out long enough to, like, 10 years is one thing, but he, like, really burst on the scene in, like, 2011. So
I feel like it has to have been sooner than that.
I'm going to look this up real quick. Continue on. Give me your reasons, and I will continue on.
So I mean, I just feel like he's really the total package. I mean, like his music again hasn't made the same album more than once. He sold over 130 million records worldwide, and he has 11 Grammys. I mean, you hear his
You know, for only having 3 albums, he has 11 Grammys. Let that sink in.
right, exactly.
2010.
Oh wow! So I'm like just barely. I mean, not just barely, but
No, I get where you're coming from because, like, I can name. I think he has at least 30 songs on my playlist.
yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like you hear a song come on the radio, and you're like, "Oh, this is a great song," and then you realize it's Bruno Mars. And I mean, like you hear his influence all over music right now, and like I said, especially in the country genre, he's been a huge influence on Thomas Rhett alone. And I mean, some people like diehard country fans will say, I mean, I shouldn't say diehard country fans, but like people who are dead set on traditional country music, and you know they don't want anything new at all.
Those fans.
Yeah, I mean, they'll say that you know Bruno Mars is the worst thing to happen to country music, but I mean,
Cowboy Troy was the worst thing to happen to country music. I will argue that.
I don't know. It's hard not to like Bruno Mars.
Yeah, Just the Way You Are came out in 2010.
Oh wow!
Went to number 1. Like he has not had very many songs that didn't go number 1.
Right, exactly. And I mean, like you think about all his songs, and you're like, wow, that's a really good catchy. That's a really good song. Oh, that's a really catchy song. Like, oh, I always jam out to that when that comes on. I mean, it's impossible, you know, to find a song that you don't like by him.
There's so many songs that just complete. You know, he was one I toyed with just because I didn't know what to think here.
Yeah.
Mostly because I love Bruno Mars, but is that just because I love Bruno Mars?
See, I don't even love him. Like, I see the influence that he's had.
Yeah, and I mean, he one of the best Super Bowl halftime performances too.
Yeah.
Because you can't rule those out. Because I mean, anybody who gets asked to perform, and you're just like, okay, they have to be somewhat good to a point.
That's true. That's true.
And then Bruno Mars stole the show that year at the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
No, he's a good one. He is a good one.
Yeah.
All right, so I got it. Oh boy. All right. I'm going to go to the rock genre because we haven't talked about it much.
Okay.
And yeah, this band's been around for a while. Yeah. But I do believe one of their biggest albums happened in the early 2000s.
Okay.
And I feel now in music, you can probably look at any band that's come out from the year 2000 to now and been like, Green Day is my influence.
You know, they almost made my list.
American Idiot is probably one of the best albums to come out in the 2000s.
I thought that when it first came out, and then later on, I don't know, I went back on it.
Oh, it happens. It happens.
Yeah.
I did get tired of hearing Boulevard of Broken Dreams, though. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. Oof. But no, Green Day has to be on the list to a fault. Because you know the bands, like the emo bands from the mid 2000s, they had to cite Green Day as their band.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of those bands we love now. I figure Fallout, like one of those is Fallout Boy. I figured they have cited Green Day as an influence.
I mean, they've had to have, like Newfound Glory, Blink. Blink 182 actually probably came out just after Green Day or semi around the same time. But all the bands that were inspired by Green Day and Blink 182, are all bands that we love. Like I said, like Simple Plan, Newfound Glory, Fall Out Boy, Sum 41 even. The list just can go on and on.
Yeah, you could probably look at any Warped Tour, throw a dart
Exactly.
at a lineup, and hit a band that's probably been influenced by Green Day.
Exactly.
Because we watched a band perform a Green Day medley at Warped Tour,
yeah.
and I went, yeah, okay, they have to be one of those bands. They have to
for
be.
sure.
And then someone did a Blink medley.
Oh, wow.
And I go, how influential has Blink 182 been to music?
I can see they almost made my list, to be honest with you.
I'm kind of glad that we were on the same wavelength, that you're like, I debated with bands because I'm like, are they good enough?
Yeah, I would easily put Green Day and Blink 182 in my top 15.
I think Green Day has to be in my top 10 just because they've done so much.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And like I said, like when I was in high school and college, like they were one of my favorite bands.
And they were one of mine too. I can't argue that.
Yeah.
I think all of us have Nimrod somewhere.
Yeah. And Dookie. Those
Yeah.
two albums were just on repeat.
All right, who's next for you? Are we close?
Are we close to what?
Number 10. Like, I feel like we've almost done all 10.
Yeah, because I'm on number 4 right now for me. Because
Okay.
I've been going backward.
And the fact that you've had some of mine, I'm like, you're going to have to go twice. You know that, right? I've not had anybody on your list except probably one. So,
Mhm.
all right.
So sticking with the rock genre,
Oh.
and rock when I say rock, I mean more like hard rock, like alternative rock. These guys probably started, I would say, the new metal. It's just
Are you going to say
so
Korn?
hard. You can't you can judge them all you want, which I can't see how you would, but it's hard to go back and listen to their first album, which came out in 2000, and then listen to
It's not Korn.
alternative rock bands now, and just not there's no way you can't not hear the influence that they've had. No, it's Linkin Park.
Ooh. Like, part of me wants to argue just because we need an argument in this episode. Because I know it has to happen.
They only have 2 Grammys that they've won, but their Hybrid Theory was certified diamond. Yeah, they have a total of 67 awards that they've won. It's just that only 2 of them are Grammys.
I think Linkin Park, and it's a tragedy that their lead singer,
Yes, it is.
and I think that was one that hit all music. Anyone who is a fan of music knows who they are. I feel.
Mhm.
Oh boy, this is tough. I part of me wants to be like, no, I can argue this, but they did introduce like that.
They did that rap rock.
Yeah,
And it wasn't even like a cheesy kind of way. Like it was just, because they had 2 singers doing it. So like they had Chester doing the screaming and the melodies, and then they had what's his name doing the rapping, and it blended together so perfectly. And the songs were good. Yeah, they were. Yeah, sure, they were radio friendly, but they were also just really good friggin' rock songs.
huh. Yeah, no,
And
I
they
can't.
weren't even like a one album kind of band. Like they had like multiple albums. Granted, they got a little bit worse as it went on, but up to like the mid 2000s, they were like one of the best rock bands. Like they were at the top of the list.
They had a great live show. If anyone's seen
Yeah,
it, they
exactly.
had a great live show.
And that first album, I went back and listened to that this morning actually. Nothing is ever going to beat that first album.
That's a great, like, I remember owning that album.
Mhm.
Okay, so the is it like the rap metal genre?
It's like new metal, yeah.
Yeah, there were a few that kind of stepped up, but there were so many Limp Bizkit tried, they weren't good.
No.
Kid Rock was in that genre for a minute.
Yeah, but he was like more hardcore rap, I think.
He was in that. You just couldn't tell where he was. You You still can't tell where he is. And then Linkin Park came out and just went, "Hey, look, we're gonna do this better than everyone else," and they did.
Exactly.
And
then when they came out with the second album, and which was Meteora, and Numb came out, and then they went and did the remix with Jay-Z, Numb Encore, and that was just phenomenal.
The Jay-Z Numb Encore is one of the greatest
collaborations ever.
Yeah. It has been on every playlist I've had since 2004 or 5 when that album came out. Yeah. 100%. That is such an amazing album.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't even think about them. I don't know what that says about me, but
yeah, I mean, I think it's hard whether you like them or not. Like, I think it's hard to deny the influence that they've had on rock music,
and they're gonna
and just in music in general. I think,
and they're still gonna be one of those bands that's around forever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think people are just gonna be talking about them forever.
And it's a sad, like I said, the tragedy kind of makes things a little bit harder. But since you took 2 of mine, would you like?
Was Linkin Park on your list?
No, you took Dave Grohl and Justin Timberlake.
Oh, okay.
So you've got to go again because I
oh, really?
I only have one left. I have done.
Oh boy. Okay. So my next one might also surprise you.
Oh, good.
Again, I'm not really a fan of all his music. He's maybe got a handful of songs that I like, but I respect him as a musician because I know how talented he is. He's played and been credited by some of the most acclaimed musicians and guitar players. I'm talking not just in certain genres that I like, but also we're talking legendary musicians he's played with. That's how good of a guitar player this guy is. But also, I mean, he doesn't put out the same album twice. He reinvents himself. His songwriting, I mean, it's just kind of almost next level. He's got 7 Grammys as well. I don't know if you can guess who I'm talking about.
I can't. What's the genre? What's that guy?
That's the other thing. You can't
Everything?
really I said that's the other thing. You can't really pinpoint his genre, but I guess if you had to, I guess it would be pop, but it's not really pop.
Yeah, I'm confused.
It's John Mayer.
Oh, I can't stand him as a person, though. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of him, but here's the thing. Every country artist that I talk to, especially within the past couple years, you ask them who their biggest influence is, they immediately say John Mayer. I kid you not, you could do a collaboration of country artists covering John Mayer songs, and you would have at least 12 songs on this album.
So I got
that's how many artists would think of him as an influence.
So I have a John Mayer story for you.
Oh boy.
No, and this is actually kind of funny now that you bring this up. When we were in Chicago for All In, the wrestling show, he was there.
Really?
And he was at the concession stand when we were.
No way.
Yeah, he's in the front row.
Oh my god.
And you're like, wait, is that John Mayer? It took people to go, is John Mayer at All In? And it started buzzing through the crowd. Because honestly, John Mayer just fits in anywhere he sits. I did learn this because you're like, nobody knew it was him for at least 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Until it was they said it on TV. Mm-hmm. And then everybody started texting.
Oh my god.
So that's my John Mayer story. So did not know it was him, but we were in the same line. Yeah. Nice guy.
Yeah.
He seemed I don't like him personally because he broke Jennifer Aniston's heart. But
and Taylor Swift's.
And Taylor. We're not going to talk about that one. I feel like that's the heart of some Taylor songs.
Yeah, right?
But yeah, no, I don't know. I just don't like him as a person. I get where he's influential.
No, and I get it.
I get where his music's popular and really good. I do. That's kind of one reason I don't like Tim McGraw either.
What?
Yeah. There's a lot of CMA Fest stories from the mid 90s to late 90s after him and Faith got married where they would just leave fans hanging.
I never heard that.
Yep. And it was brought up a lot on television at that time. A lot of new artists were not happy with him.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. There's a lot of... I'll send you some horror stories of Tim and Faith. they're two on my list that I probably will never see live. All right.
Oh wow,
Yeah, that's how much I'm like, nope.
interesting.
Yeah, fun story, a little fun. No, I can't argue that John Mayer's on the list because I mean he is very talented music wise.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, I'm amazed every time I hear a country artist tell me that John Mayer has been a huge influence on them. I mean, I've had Lindsay L, Jacob Powell, Adam Doliak, Ryan Kinder. God, I mean, the list just goes on and on. I mean, it's literally like insane the amount of artists that are influenced by him.
Huh. All right. You got to go again.
Oh Jesus!
No, you
People are
took
gonna get sick of hearing me talk.
you took two from me. What am I supposed to do?
So this next one is, I mean, they're not just on my list because they're one of my all-time favorite bands slash artists of all times, but I genuinely do see that, like, the influence that they've had, and it's kind of like it's a band, and then the lead singer went solo, so I put the band in slash the lead singer, but so they started in the like the mid to late 90s, but they've stayed relevant through the 2000s. So it's Matchbox 20 and Rob Thomas.
I knew that's exactly where you're going. We're like the lead singer did his own thing. Like it's
Yeah.
Matchbox 20.
I mean, their debut album was one of the best debut albums by a band of all time. I mean, it went certified 12 times platinum.
That might be
In the
one of the
US
greatest
alone.
albums of music history. Let's
Exactly.
Which, granted,
And
it may not be in the top like 50 of all time because I don't think it is because that 50 list is weird.
Yeah.
But it is so. There's so many songs that you're like, I
Yeah.
love that song.
That whole album, like, I can't tell you how many times I've listened to that whole album from front to back and ever had to skip a single song.
Because that's
His
how good it
songwriting
is.
is just like, it's that weird but like good, like just digs deep, like twisted. I don't know. It's just, Rob Thomas is amazing. Like, he's one of the best vocalists you'll ever hear. He's an insane performer. Like, he's constantly like running all over the stage, just going through song after song after song. I watched him sweat through like 6 shirts. Last summer, I think it was, when I saw him. I don't know. It's just insane. Like I said, their first album, Yourself or Someone Like You, was certified 12-time platinum in the U.S. alone. Their second album, Mad Season, which came out in 2000, certified
Love
4-time
Mad
platinum
Season.
in the U.S.
Love Mad Season.
The weird thing is that they've only won one People's Choice Award.
The People's Choice Award.
That's it. They haven't won any Grammys. They've been nominated.
Really?
They haven't won. Yeah.
That's kind of surprising. Over the years, that's
I know.
especially with his collaboration with Santana. I feel like
I
that.
know.
I feel Smooth would have done it because
I think-
that Santana
I think
album.
Smooth might have won a Grammy. I didn't look that up. That I forgot to look that song up by itself. But Matchbox 20 as a band have not won any Grammys.
Has he won one as a solo artist?
I feel like he's probably had to. Let me check.
I'm looking at Santana's awards right now, which is great. Because Supernatural, such a good album. Now we're talking
Yeah.
about Supernatural.
It's really, you have to actually hear the story that Rob Thomas, when he tells it live, about how that collaboration with Carlos Santana happened.
That's one of those songs where if you weren't a fan of Rob Thomas, you had to be after that.
Right, exactly. So Smooth earned him 3 Grammys.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at that. Album of the Year was one of them. So Santana did win Album of the Year that year.
Yeah. He also won a ASCAP Pop Music Award
The
for
ASCAP Awards, yeah.
Lonely No More and Ever the Same.
The People's Choice Awards to me is almost right up there with the VMAs. Like, does it really matter?
He won some BMI Pop Awards.
I feel like those are more important. Like the ones you win from the industry are more important than the ones you like to a point. Like I get that your fans vote,
Yeah.
but I feel like they're probably, if they were nominated, they were in a category with someone who stuffed ballots like Neil McCoy, because
Yeah.
that's just how that is. Like I'm.
He's
picking on
also
McCoy
won
a lot.
with his solo act won a Billboard Music Award.
Yeah. I
Was it
like
Billboard?
him a lot.
Yeah. Surprisingly, Smooth did not win a Billboard Music Award.
Again, I'm baffled by music sometimes.
Yeah, same. But yeah, and again, him and Matchbox 20 are they're one of those artists that, again, when you talk to these other artists and musicians and you ask them who their influences are, they will tell you Matchbox 20. Even if they don't tell you, like, you can hear it in their music.
Agreed.
They're one of the best bands in music. I'm sorry. Like, go through their catalog and you can't tell me that those songs
especially
are
if you're a
incredible.
90s kid. Especially if you're a
Yes.
kid of the 90s, you're like, yep. That's one of those people.
Exactly.
Oh. All right. So I still only have one left.
Okay. And I'm assuming that's your number one, which is the same as mine.
Yeah, I feel like that's not going to be an argument here, but you have one more then, don't you?
No, that's it.
Oh, that's it? That's all that's
just
left?
my number one, yeah.
Okay. I feel like this is for us, this is a given.
Yeah.
By the way, Garth almost made my list.
I completely I didn't know how I left off Garth. I think it's because he was more influential and relevant in the 90s than the 2000s. I think that's why.
And that's something I took into consideration, because then I went, Garth kind of became big again just recently.
Right. He was,
he was
definitely
always
more
big,
influential in the 90s.
Yeah, he's more influential now in that early 90s. Like, not so much as it is, as it used to be in like 96. Like, if we were doing this in the year 98, Garth is on this list. Hell, the Spice Girls are probably on this list.
I don't know about that.
Love the Spice Girls. You leave me alone there. All right. You know who probably would have made this list too if we were doing this in like 2004? Alanis Morissette.
Oh, yeah, I could see that.
I know I'm stalling, but I feel like everyone knows what's coming. But that's someone else, like Jagged Little Pill, and I know she's had more than one album, but Jagged Little Pill is probably right up there with some of the best albums ever.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, it's number one. It's Taylor Swift.
I mean, how could it not be?
I wrote that article the other day, and we got into an argument over that artitle because you're like,
it was an argument.
Shania Twain.
Oh, no. Because you said that I forget what it was you put
outside
in there.
Garth, there aren't many crossovers. Yeah.
But Shania Twain, I mean, especially if we're talking female artists, Shania Twain I think she still has the number one crossover album, and that's what Come On Over.
Which really baffled me when I did not know that at the time, but I also feel that Come On Over is an anomaly. And I'll say this why. I feel like, okay, so we got on Shania Twain. That album was so good that I think anything that came after it just sucked. And I'm not saying that Shania Twain's terrible, but I think Up and her newer album are crap.
Well, I don't think Up is crap. I think it just, compared to Come On Over, it just didn't live up to its predecessor.
Yeah, that's kind of, it's almost like, when you have your first huge album and it's just so big, you're like, oh, there's no way you could back that up.
Yeah.
That's the same principle with Up. Like, Come On Over was so big, Up was doomed to fail. And I don't think Up's that great at all. Like, there's one song on it that I'm like, hey, that's okay. But compared to like Come On Over, where every song is almost every lyric to.
Yeah, exactly.
But Shania Twain's had 4 albums. Just want to point this out. 4.
Which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, no, and I thought that through because I was like, oh, she could make my influential list until I saw she had 4 albums. And went, okay, that's a freak accident then.
But she influenced so many people alone just with Come On Over.
Right. And it's like, but is it just, it almost becomes, is it a one album wonder kind of thing? Because I'm starting to think it might be.
Well, no, because the album before that came really close to Come On Over.
Any Man of Mine was huge. And I'm not
Any Man of Mine, whose bed have your boots been under?
Yeah, whose bed?
Honey, I'm Home.
Honey, I'm Home's on Come On Over.
Oh, wait, no.
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yep. It's number 4 on Come On Over.
That sounds more 90s than, and like, it sounds more country than what Come On Over was.
No, I do. I'm looking this
because
up.
Come On Over had That Don't Impress Me Much, From This Moment,
Why is it that when I want to find like the list of songs on Come On Over, it took me to the Shania Twain song, not the album. You got to be kidding me.
Trying to think what else was on Come On Over.
There we go. Honey, I'm Home's number 11 on on Come On Over. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of her hits are on Come On Over. I think there's 3. If You're Not In It for Love.
Yes.
Any Man of Mine, and Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under?
Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under were on the album before Come On Over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Those are the 3 from the Any Man of Mine album.
Okay.
Then everything else is on Come On Over.
Come On Over?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Come On Over is an anomaly. Like, it's really weird that like every song on Come On Over was huge.
Yeah.
But I think it was just the right time.
Yeah, that's true.
So it is something I never really considered, and then I went, because she has that song with Brian White on. How did we get on this? She has that song with Brian White that's really
From
good.
This Moment.
Yeah, and You're Still the Ones on there. And,
yes, that's the other one I forgot about.
Yeah, and like there's so many good Shania songs on that album, but then you look at her other albums, and you're like, oh, oh yeah. Like even as much fun as the first one is, it's not Come On Over. And Up is nowhere near it. Because I think the only reason Up sold as much as it did is because everyone thought it was going to be as good as Come On Over.
That's true.
That's why I don't count Up in the top, because it's in the top 50 of all time. After you messaged me about this, I actually did some research. So Up should be number 1. Or Come On Over should be number 1, because the Garth Brooks live album should not count.
Yeah.
So Honest to Goodness album is Shania Twain. And I
See?
went, okay,
I knew what I was talking about.
That's great, and I do believe that's a great album, and I can't argue it. But I also think that I don't remember these songs being crossovers, with the exception of.
Oh yeah, they were all crossovers. Like I remember,
that don't impress me much.
You
and
could
Man,
switch
I Feel Like
from,
a Woman.
Man, I Feel Like a Woman. There's another one. You could easily switch at any time from the country station and hearing any of those Shania Twain songs, and going to like. In Chicago, it was like the 100.3, like or Light FM or something.
Okay,
like
so this is
whatever adult contemporary station it was, and you could easily hear any one of those songs.
Okay, this actually tells you the difference of where you live, because I lived in a small town growing up, where our radio station only played country, but we got other radio stations, and Shania never made those stations that were pop and like.
That's crazy because she always made our pop stations here.
So when it crossed over for me as a child, like in my teens and stuff, was when you would see the video on VH1 or MTV. Again, back to music videos for me. And the first one I remember, like the only 2 I ever remember seeing of hers on any other channel was Man, I Feel Like a Woman. And That Don't Impress Me Much.
Yeah. And those 2 music videos alone inspired so many Halloween costumes.
Those 2. The fact that she spoofed Robert Palmer's videos is so great. And we are not talking about Taylor Swift.
People are like, what the hell happened to this podcast?
But this is the argument we had. Like, we had this debate over that album where I was like, I don't think she's as much as a crossover star as everyone thinks, though.
It's not that she's a crossover star. I mean... Yes and no, but it's more so like what she did with that album. Oh no, that album transcends everything, but I don't think it's as how do I put this and not sound like a dick? I don't think it's. I think it sold a lot because it was the right time, but I also don't know if it would sell as much now. And I know I don't know about that.
Well, you know what's weird? Adele has the only album like in the top like 30 from like this generation. From like the last 10 years. It's weird.
Which is, that I don't understand that.
But part of me goes, okay, so this is the digital age where the song is more important than the album.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it actually would be as big now. Because every hit she had was on this one album.
That's true.
So it's kind of like a, Because, I mean, you can break up like someone else's, like, look at Bruno Mars, who has like 3 albums, and you can just see how his hits are broken up.
Yeah.
But
that's true.
There's 10 number 1s on this album. That's unreal. For any artist at that time, 10 is unreal.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
All right, back to the argument. Okay. Taylor Swift is number 1. Sheesh.
She has won. Can I just say, she has won where is it? 318 total awards won. 657 nominations.
But not for a 2019 Grammy. What the hell?
Ugh. Can I tell you how upset I was about that? I literally think I said out loud, what the fuck?
Her and someone else got left off where I went, really?
Yeah, I don't remember who else it was.
Yeah, because I went, how did they get left off? Like, I get you. Like, the only one that made sense to me out of the list that was nominated was Childish Gambino. That's it. Like, I went, no one else should have been nominated.
No, especially Cardi B. I'm sorry. I don't get it. I don't get it at all.
All right, back to. But no, like, I completely. This is. So, from her humble beginnings from back in the day, from Teardrops on My Guitar and Tim McGraw and the other one.
Yeah. I mean, our song made her the youngest person to write and perform a #1 song on the Hot Country Song Chart. And she was the youngest winner of Album of the Year for Grammy winner for Fearless.
Maybe one of the greatest albums of all time.
Mm-hmm. And the first woman to win Album of the Year twice.
And that's a huge thing in country. Because
Yes.
as much as, and this is not a knock on any female artist that's come before her, but I feel like she opened the door for the country females now.
She definitely did.
Where it would not, by the way, should Taylor Swift says Stevie Nicks and Shania Twain inspired her. Just want to throw that out there. but like, that's what I feel. Like, I think she opened the door for so many of the names now that are coming up. And not just country either, because...
Right, exactly.
I mean, after seeing her live, and we've talked about this so much that I feel like everybody's like, oh God, not again. But I told everyone it's a religious experience, but
It is.
you actually could, like, okay, I'm going to every Taylor Swift concert from now on.
Like, you just, like, I remember, like, getting home after the Taylor Swift concert, and, like, somebody, like, asked me, like, well, how was it? And I was just, like, and all I could say was good, but I had this look on my face, like, they're, like, really? Like, that's it? I'm like, I can't put it into words right now. Like, it was just, like, and it was an experience that you can't fully describe to someone unless they were there.
So I have the banner hanging up in my bedroom. In my bedroom, my wife is like, why is Taylor Swift staring at me? I'm like, I don't know anymore.
I mean, the girl broke her own record with this last tour. She broke her own record
Yeah,
for
she's the
highest grossing U.S. tour by a
Yeah,
woman.
it's #1 now. And there's, like, I think it's #1 or #4. It's #1 US and #4 worldwide, which is crazy.
Right. Yes.
I will say this. I've looked, when I was doing that article, I looked at every album. And I went, oh my God, there's at least 4 songs on every album that I enjoy. 100% at least 4. And I mean, I'm not saying that, like, I enjoy everything, but, like, I really love 4 and more.
Yeah.
And that's rare. Like, I don't know many artists where you're like, hey, I like this person's song, but after you hear, like, 2 songs of theirs, you're like, nothing else is good.
Yeah, I mean, she just, oh God, you talk about somebody who continues to reinvent themselves.
She has constantly done it.
She just when you think that, like, she can't do better, she does.
And I know the next album, which I already know they're working on. I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah, well, she had, she said it during the live tour that if you love this, you're really gonna like what's next.
And I think she's already got it halfway done. I'm, because I almost expect her next tour. I don't know how she can top it. I'll just be honest with you. The only way I know that you could actually break your own records if you have a theater in the round kind of stage. That's it.
Like, the thing is like, she went, like, with this tour, she went from, like, full on stage production to then simply sitting at a piano and singing, to just simply playing the guitar and singing in the middle of the stage.
Speaking of
like,
someone else who can play instruments like crazy.
Who does that? Like, I mean, like, people say, like, oh, she sold out. She did. No. She just learned how to do it better than everyone else.
I think the fact, and one of the reasons that I will always put Taylor Swift on my influential artist list, is the way she treats her fans. And one of the things like the fact that the year she sent the mystery boxes to the fans that had, like, autographs and stuff. And then when Reputation came out, she went to a Target Or was that 1989? Where she went to
That was 1989. With Reputation, she went to London, I think, and she had
like 30
a
brought
bunch
it,
of these fans at her like loft or whatever, and they all listened to the album before it was ever released.
while hanging out with her.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool because probably Ed Sheeran somewhere there. They should just hook up. They should just hook up. Let's just get it over with now. And like with 1989, she actually went to Target and surprised fans standing in line, like just a random Target in the U.S.
Right.
Like, I mean, there is no one in music that treats their fans that well.
Exactly.
And I couldn't tell you, like, I mean, treating your fans is where it's at. Like, you need to treat your fans with respect, and she has that down.
Yeah, she definitely does.
I'm so excited to like be in a generation where like the biggest name in music is one of the biggest names in music. Quite frankly, might be one of the best all around people. Even though I know a lot of people are like, she's terrible. No, she's not.
Yeah, she's definitely not. I mean, she's in the Songwriters Hall of Fame. Like
at age 28, at 20 freaking 8. What were we doing at 28?
Oh my God, nothing compared to being a songwriter.
I was probably sitting around doing absolutely not a damn thing. Like probably what I'm doing now. So that's crazy. At 28, she's in the Songwriting Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, and people can say like, oh, well, she just continues to write about her relationship, one failed relationship after another. Well, you're a musician. What else are you going to write about?
I was going to say, how many artists have actually done that and no one has said a word?
Exactly.
Like, what's Lemonade? Like, oh God, I'm going to get hit. I'm going to get killed. What was Lemonade about?
Oh my God, exactly.
Just saying. And now I will back down from the Queen Bee fans. I love Beyonce. Don't hate me.
This poor girl, like, she was just ridiculed time and time again by the press, by just everybody.
Not us, though.
No, not us. And I mean, she literally, like, she walked out of the fire with her head held high. You know what I mean? Like, she knew when it was time for her to take a break and take a step out, like, out of the spotlight. And then she came back and she went straight to the top again.
And that's what's going to happen.
Who else can do that?
It's going to keep happening.
Exactly.
And we just have to realize that we are in Taylor Swift's world.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm okay with that. Well, this didn't turn out to be as much of a bloodbath as I thought it was going to be, though.
Yeah, I don't know why you thought it would be.
I just figured it would be. I figured the Weird Al one would be the one to get me in trouble. By the way, I do have one stat for that in a second, but continue on about Taylor Swift while I look that up.
I don't know. I mean, I probably sound like I'm just like gushing on and on about her, but
it's allowed.
The girl cannot do any wrong. I'm sorry.
At least to us.
No, like in general, like I just feel like she gives and gives and gives charities to her fans, to, organizations. I mean, God, she's literally like, she's brilliant.
I also want to point out that Weird Al has won 4 Grammy Awards. Just want to point that out.
Seriously?
Seriously.
What is wrong with this world?
4 Grammys. And a lot of other awards. Like, I knew there was a Grammy in there somewhere, and I was like, oh, I can argue this with Grammys, because if you threw in Matchbox 20 and they haven't won a Grammy, and then Weird Al's won 4, I'm okay with my argument now.
See, that makes me even more mad now. Matchbox 20 hasn't won a Grammy, but
album.
Weird Al has won 4.
It's the best comedy album. Come on.
Ugh.
All right, back to no. And I think the thing with Taylor Swift is when, like, we look back in 10 years, she's probably going to have 3 more albums, because it usually seems like every 2 to 3 years she releases one.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, and each album is probably going to be even more special than the last. I'm going to be that old person at Taylor Swift concerts. I already know it's coming, and I'm okay with that. Is there anyone else you wanted to like? Is there anyone that we forgot about that you could thought of on the top of your head?
I almost put who else did I almost put on here? Well, I mean, I already told you I almost put Lady Gaga and Blink-182 on here.
Right.
I maybe not in my top 10. Well, I mean, obviously not in my top 10, but somewhere I would say Gwen Stefani / No Doubt is definitely one of the most influential artists.
I toyed with that one too, because you have no idea how big of a No Doubt fan I am.
Yeah, I mean, like, I didn't, again, like, later on it just got a little too pop for me, so I wasn't super into all of their music, but
Those first albums, Tragic Kingdom.
it's just
oh,
it's just hard not to see the influence that she's had on other like younger female artists.
and her sound is so different than anyone else's too.
Oh, absolutely. Her voice alone.
That voice is awesome. Damn you! I can't think of his name now. Damn you, Blake Shelton. Damn you. I still don't know how I feel about that because I almost put Miranda Lambert on my list for a minute,
Oh God, no.
and then I went, nah. I like her. I really
I
do,
don't.
but you don't or do?
I don't.
Oh wow, I did not know this.
Yeah, no, I'm not a Miranda fan.
Oh, is it because you're a Blake fan?
No, I've never been a Miranda fan.
Oh, did not
even
know.
when they were together.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Learned something new today.
It's just her voice.
Which really says that's why I hate Rascal Flatts.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand his voice. I feel like it is, honest to God, listening to the most nasally human being alive sing.
Aw.
It's like listening to a dude that has sinus infection sing constantly. It's terrible to me. Like, I'm like, oh, just stop. I think you're great people, but just stop.
That's funny.
I have an impression of that. I will do it on a later show. Not now. Not now. Is there anything else you would like to add?
Nothing I can think of. Again, obviously, like we're not professionals.
Don't tell him that. Screw it. Don't try
But
this
I
at
mean,
home.
I think we did pretty good with our list.
No, our
think
list
we
was
covered,
actually not bad. Like, we covered every genre.
Yeah, I think we covered. I mean, all the big ones. I mean, the ones that like are hard to deny.
Yeah, I mean, we're not going deep into like, look, I'm not going to go into Christian rap. I'm sorry. But it's Toby Mac. But like, we could do that. Like, I know. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's going to wrap up this edition of Live. We've got a lot still to come in the 25 days of Christmas. Next week, we're doing our tournament, which if you voted on at tbkmagazine.com for the greatest Christmas movie /special, we're in the Elite Eight. And tonight starts that. Voting for that at the website. Every 24 hours, you get to vote on a new round. The 8 movies that are left and their matchups. And we talked about Christmas movies last year, right?
We did.
I don't remember what you said was your favorite Christmas movies, but I'm going to tell you what's left. Because I just want to say it, because whatever wins this tournament is the Christmas Eve episode of Cinecrap.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's A Christmas Story versus Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Oh, Jesus. That's what we're left with?
Hold on. The Grinch versus The Nightmare Before Christmas. Christmas Vacation versus Elf.
Ugh.
And It's a Wonderful Life versus The Santa Claus. I know what I want to win, but I'm not going to tell anybody that.
None of my favorites made that list.
Which one was your favorite?
I love White Christmas.
It got knocked out by The Santa Claus, but it was really close.
I like the remake of Miracle on 34th Street.
Miracle on 34th Street got knocked out by It's a Wonderful Life. Again, very close, like 56-44. Really close vote.
I like Prancer. Was Prancer at all on that list?
No.
Ugh, what is wrong with people?
No, the Yule Log was, though. And it made the second round. I love the Yule Log. That's weird, I know, but it is what it is. Also, this still to come is our Christmas story, 5-part Christmas story, because I'm crazy. I did listen to you guys, and am going to make it the 21st to the 25th. Stick around for that. Stuck in present tense is the name of the story, and present is present, like as in Christmas present, but yeah, you get it. Video Killed still to come. We got 2 of those still to come. We've got more episodes alive. 2 more episodes of Cinecrap. If that wasn't enough, we've got articles and you name it. You've got a top 10 list still to come.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessarily a top 10 list.
It's a list.
I think it's a list, but it also kind of gives you, I mean, without telling you what the article is like about, but it kind of goes into like it makes you think more about people's taste in music and your own taste in music. I enjoyed
that one. I actually enjoyed that one. You also have a song review that's going up tomorrow. As well as, and guys, don't forget to check out everything else. 25 Days ends on December 25th. Don't forget your letter to Santa. And we're going to do that. That's on New Christmas Eve. So, Manda, thank you for joining us.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
You have something in the mail for you. It'll probably be there after Christmas, though, because Yeah, it's expensive. And just letting you know, though, you've seen the picture of your award. By the way, I got to talk about this real quick. I ordered it, like, the Nazis happened in February. Freaking February. Yeah. And I ordered these awards in March. And the first one they sent me, the logo was wrong. They sent me the old logo. Like, I mean the old logo. And I went,
no.
You got to be kidding me. Then I sent them back to get new ones, and they sent me another one with your name and Jim's name spelled wrong. And I went, jeez. And that was before we left for StarCast, because I was like, oh, we can deliver those. And I went, you got to be kidding me. I finally just got them a week ago. And they were right.
God.
And they were right. So, and the Nutsy Awards is February 18th. Oh, just letting you guys know that too. So
interesting.
All right. That's going to wrap up this edition live. Again, Manda, thank you for joining us.
Oh, of course. Thank you for having me again.
And we will talk music again. We're going to do a few more music shows in 2019. I've got some plans for you.
Oh, I hope so.
We're going to do another show like this. I think we need to do albums.
Oh, yes.
I think we need to do albums, and we need to do songs from decades.
Yes.
So that's
sure.
That's coming in 2019. So guys, until next time, we're going to end this show because it's Christmas. We're going to end this show with Clark W. Griswold. Until next time, Clark, what happens when things just go completely wrong?